I need some Sprite. Check.
Talking pictures.
Check.
Now this sort of wave sound in the background was from a CD that I found randomly in the room, but it worked.
There were a lot of random CDs in that room.
I think I dumped a whole bunch of... I went to the library and got a whole bunch of sound effects for you, like a couple different water sounds.
That's one of the water sounds that I end up using is from Jaws, and this wind
music.
sound is from Close Encounters of the Third Kind, from the beginning, from the opening scene in the desert.
And it had a little hint of music in it, which is why I had to
Which is
match
why-
it
yeah.
with the music.
So it's the same note as in Close Encounters.
And that sprung the whole music theme for me. It was the whole...
So Revelations inspired by Close Encounters, and there's Ricky's awesome title.
Yes, it's very good.
I still don't like how all those circles come around it. It didn't happen on my computer, but that's all right.
It's a very appropriate title, everybody.
It's a lot better than the Devil's Blues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That was the working title for the film, Devil's Blues. Written by Daniel.
This is shot at one of my friends' houses.
Which is down the street from me.
Yes, it's right at the end of Coral Reef.
And down the street from Juan Ballesteros, who was in Normal Nights.
That's right. And there's Jordan Harrison.
With hair, or without hair, rather.
With the shaved head, yeah.
So I remember the first time you showed me a cut of the original cut of the beginning of this movie. It was really confusing.
Yeah, it takes a couple of viewings, I think.
But like an
Recently
original.
I've showed it to people, and they've gotten it right on the spot, which I thought was pretty miraculous.
That's a sound effect that could have stood to have been there a little more. That one and the sound of the other person
Yeah.
falling in the background.
But again, this was, a scene at the beginning of the movie, and you'll see throughout the movie that I think the quality, gets better as it goes on. This scene was actually redone and shot at the end of the movie because it was so bad at the beginning.
This was the one that I was talking about. This was really strange the first time I saw it. Whose hand was that, by the way?
Which hand?
The hand with the cross. Wasn't that somebody else's?
Yes. The hand.
That was me.
No, that was Gabe Hines.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, the
That's
hand
Gabe
holding
Hines
the-
picking up the cross.
Yeah.
That was the hand. that
not
picks
not
up
the black
cross.
hand.
Right. It was Gabe Hines.
Of course, all these comments for all these films have to be taken in context if they're all 10th and 11th and 12th graders in high school.
Right. I wrote the script when I was a sophomore.
Yep.
Began shooting it over the summer of junior.
Same summer as Reality was
Same
filmed.
summer as Reality. Shot the scene you're about to see that takes place in the bathroom.
Or most of it, at least.
Right. And here we go.
That's a neat little transition.
Yeah, that's very good.
This is still footage that was shot at the end of the movie.
I remember the first time you showed me this sequence, and the first time I saw this, I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that. And then on the towel, I didn't even expect that even more.
Right.
And it affected me even more.
This is the first footage that I shot from the movie right here. We just switched to it, if you can notice the difference in quality.
Oh, yeah.
And the bathroom door is closed now.
And that is actually me screaming, not Jordan.
I remember setting up in the
We set up in the bathroom.
in the gym bathroom.
I remember. That was funny.
This movie took a lot of red Sharpies and food coloring.
And you originally had him heaving into the toilet, but you cut that out.
I cut out him heaving into the toilet because he didn't heave anything.
Well, some people can heave and have nothing come out.
Yeah, but I thought it was just too much.
And then, go ahead.
And here comes a shot that everybody asks me about. How do you do this shot?
How'd you
And there-
do the
there are a
hamper?
bunch of,
The hamper
How'd
cam.
you do the hamper cam? Well, I stuck the camera into the hamper, turned the LCD around, placed Jordan, and the rest is history. And you're about to see another shot that takes place at Jordan's locker, which uses the same concept.
The locker hamper cam.
And there's the light. See that?
Thank God for auto lighting
Auto
and video
lighting.
cameras. That's the only time I will say that.
Right.
Otherwise, anything auto is yucky.
I agree.
This is actually Jordan's locker.
He was breaking and entering into somebody's. Now, if you listen, I like the sound effects in this.
Yeah,
scene.
it sounds like Hell Angels or something.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I've always liked that.
Yeah. Was
It's
that
really
incidental?
yeah, but
there was a day
I
all
left
the,
it in.
All the Hare Krishnas were there yelling and screaming.
Yeah, the next scene takes place when all the Hare Krishnas were there. Yeah.
They're not really
Here
Hare
comes-
Krishnas, but
They're just religious zealots or something.
This is the first view of
Hello, Luke.
Mr. Dave.
Dave.
As
In his,
looking a little different.
Right.
Problems?
And she-
What kind of problem?
I did not force him to do this.
This is by choice.
He volunteered.
Sir.
There's Sean Murphy
you have
sitting in the
to, you
chair.
have to notice right off the color coordination.
And do you know where Gabe is
Oh,
today?
right, exactly.
By any
Yeah, I
chance?
forgot to mention
Yes.
this.
Wearing the black colored shirts for bad and the white for good, and that's established right at the beginning.
And then there's
So I
Matt
was wearing
Brooks.
white.
Pretty strange of him not showing up, isn't it?
And this scene was shot when
Anyway.
all those
Where
people
were
were running and screaming in the halls, and we had to do the scenes intermittently.
Mm-hmm.
Is
2
that
hours
I
apart.
told you yesterday.
is that a
to
Jewish
bring
star in the window?
Yeah, it was. And those are all books from the library. I had to go down and find books that were also. That was a flashback, by the way. If you missed
Bring
that.
the book for
And
tomorrow. Are there any questions
yeah, I
about
went down to the
tonight's
library
assignment?
and talked to
Anybody? Any
checked out
questions?
about
Don't
10
forget your
books,
reading for
the
tomorrow.
same book
What'd he say?
from Miss Baxter. She was very puzzled at why I was checking out a bunch of Charles Dickens books.
Now everybody's in white.
Wait, here comes
Right,
the
because
reality.
This is a
one.
flashback. This is before they sinned.
That's what you said last time. What is it? I don't know. It seems your friend here isn't interested.
This is the wheelchair tracking shot.
This is all one continuous shot. This whole scene,
What's going on? All right.
which most people don't notice, which is a good thing.
With added crowd noise into the background.
Yes. Wild noise. And kudos to the actors for being able to. How many times do you have to do this?
A bunch of times, but they hung in there.
What are you gonna tell your parents? My parents? I can tell them anything. They're out of town. Is that what you're worried about? Your parents? Well, give me a break. Live a little.
What's great about this part coming up is
Something. I can't just.
the part with just Mike and Danny standing there, and then Jordan and the 2 girls were filmed at 2 completely
These were
different times.
All filmed at different times, and some of the eye lines don't match. But hey, you know,
I think it cuts pretty well.
yeah, it does.
Can she come?
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to talk? If you guys don't mind.
This was one of the few scenes I was actually there for during the shoot. The one with the 2 girls.
All I know is for the last 2 weeks, all I've been hearing is every
This took
detail
place at
about
the
Rachel.
very end of the movie. I
Details.
think this was shot
What type of details?
at the end of the production.
Yeah.
So,
Did you write that line? Oh man, get out of here.
Yeah, I did.
Don't tell me those 2 are coming.
Very
What's that
few
supposed to
lines are.
How about that line? Did you write that one?
Which one?
Give them credit. They can party.
That was an ad lib. That was one of the few ad libs that's in this movie.
Think it was your type of thing.
give
This
him
one.
credit, Sarah. They
Sorry.
can party.
What, you're following me now? Come on, I can't.
That's a loaded line. Following him now.
There are lots of loaded lines. When you look at it on the
We'll be there.
allegorical level, most of the lines have some sort of
Yes, they all
symbolic
have.
purpose,
They all have double, triple meanings.
and they just disappeared.
Yes, they are gone, vanished into thin air.
And also, if you had noticed, they were all guys in the classroom because girls are evil. And Barkley takes Jordan away. That temptress.
Going into the flashback, that shot of him looking up was in reverse.
Yeah.
If
I like
any
that.
man worship the beast or
If you look carefully, it looks like his eyes are rolling back into his head. But that's all right.
The wine of the wrath of God, which is poured
This is an
without
actual,
mixture into the cup of
This
his
is actually taken
indignation.
from the Bible right
And he
here,
shall be
from the book
tormented
of
with
Revelations.
fire and brimstone
I don't think I've
in the
ever actually
presence of the holy
understood
angels
any word
and
of this
in the
scene.
presence of the Lord.
I had to say it.
Sin shall
I'm
not
sure.
have dominion over you,
And all of these lines are taken from the Bible.
for you are not under the law, but under grace.
Not under
Here I
the
am
law.
acting to a book.
Not under the
Yes,
law.
this was filmed with nobody else in the
Shall
room.
we sin then because we are not under the law but under grace?
Is it because people had to leave? I think people had to
Yeah,
leave.
people were having to leave. Scheduling for this movie was really difficult because it was so
Nothing in all
long
creation is hidden from
with so
God's
many
sight.
characters.
Everything
It was
is
difficult. I
uncovered
think
and
we only
laid
got
bare
all the
before
actors
eyes of
together
him to whom
The party.
Once the party and the bedroom scene.
All have sinned and
Right,
come
the
short of the glory of God. If we say that we have
I'm
not
still
sinned,
amazed that this
then
whole
we
thing
deceive
ever got
ourselves,
completed. It's quite
and
an
the truth
achievement.
is not in us.
2 years. Oh boy, look out.
There's continuity in the clock. The time changes all the
You have
time.
sinned against the
I
Lord.
have to take that
I
time.
can barely stand to listen to this line anymore because
And you can
of the
be
end of the
sure
movie. I had to
your
listen to it
sin
so many
will
times.
Find you
Yeah.
out.
And you'll see what we mean later.
We'll continue tomorrow.
And make sure you stay awake more, Luke.
I should have cut right there.
No, I had to cross my legs.
This is the inevitable lock shot that's in every Gulliver movie almost.
Movie.
Not in Normal Nights,
Right.
which takes place not at school. The
Thankfully.
only one.
Yeah.
Is that the only one that takes? Oh, Paper Trail
Right.
has the window.
But we'll get to that later.
I think I'm in real trouble.
Are we doing Paper Trail?
Last night after the
Oh, I
party,
don't know.
something happened.
Whatever.
I don't know, I don't remember. But when I woke up, I was...
Red Sharpie.
How'd you know?
Oh my god, he has one of his own.
I actually screwed up drawing that,
When did that happen?
a couple times, and we had to
I don't remember.
scratch the scene for the day and come back tomorrow when he
able to
washed
watch
his
it.
arm off.
That's a very small thing to have to cancel a day of shooting for.
Had to have it just right.
I don't know what the hell's going on. But I want
It was a
some-
small shoot though, 5 minutes.
Where's Gabe?
I like how he
no.
throws around hells in this.
Hells and dams and God are always,
What in God's name is going on?
yeah, those are the only
I don't know
curse
any more than you do,
sort
alright?
of words.
I woke up this morning and I found Roman numerals planted all over my
Goddamn bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
There's
That bell
Foley.
is added.
I'm late for class. I'll meet you at your locker at the end of the period.
No, we did not have super shotgun mics. That was audio dubbed
Should
in.
not have gone to that party.
It's a tribute to Mike being able to do the same thing over and over again.
We'll fix it.
This is not something that we can just fix, okay? I don't know about you, but I'm scared.
that really white sky is interesting looking.
Right, we've always thought that. But that is actually, I think, the way the sky was that, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a white sky.
Yeah, it was. It
It's
was a
very
white sky
heaven-like.
right there. Yeah.
There's the
Cross stabbing him in his
cross.
forehead.
Yeah, I was getting a little creative with these shots here.
And then here comes the number on the bottom of the chair.
Yeah, I've always I think I'm gonna tell people in the future that that's a passage in the Bible or something.
first 20 line 8.
Right.
Yeah, I think we'll just pretend, but that was randomly on the chair. It's a room number. Here we go. Nice dissolve.
That looks very similar to the poster shot.
Yes. And here comes the famous scene that Gulliver hates. Lots of stories about this scene. So here Jordan's at his locker again. And he finds Red Sharpie. Those are Jordan's books stacked on top of the locker. We had to take them out to make room.
I never noticed that.
Then he notices. Dun dun dun.
A small squirrel. It speaks to him.
It took Jordan about an hour to drop that paper exactly right.
Because you're a
because
perfectionist.
I am crazy. And
I-
there's
I-
a fly right there buzzing.
I like
And here
how
we go. This is a tracking shot with the wheelchair again.
I like how he kneels down into that shot instead of you
Yes.
tilting down with him.
And how did I?
That's
how,
Foley
How
right
did they
there.
let me put blood all over the school? I didn't ask.
Ooh,
I just did
he
it.
looks really dead.
Right.
He's very good at keeping his eyes open and still.
John Kratoulis came up there in the middle of the scene. I said, "I'm just filming a movie." And he said, "Okay."
Well,
There's Jordan's famous breathing reaction.
Yes, that is. He's been taunted about that.
oh no,
There
he
it is.
has one too.
Red Sharpie.
Now that
that
is one of the
Foley-
funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Is Talkman doing that Foley?
Right, that Foley. I ran into the bathroom wall.
Throwing himself.
Threw myself into the bathroom wall.
Unfortunately, he made me keep the lens cap on, so I could not videotape him running himself into the bathroom wall.
And here's Mike. He has a fetish about
Touching blood.
touching blood. But he was waiting for Jordan at his locker. Some people missed that. Why is Mike just standing there? Well, he's waiting for Jordan at the end of the period.
Because they said
End of the period.
end of the period.
Right. Pay attention.
Now, why did you use so much? You use a lot of slow motion. Why do you use so many video effects?
For maximum creepiness.
Hey, those are the same shoes I'm wearing right now.
You stole them.
I like how the blood here looks a lot like corn syrup.
I like
And
how
it's dripping.
Yeah,
his
I like how
jaw
it's-
muscles
I like
work.
how it reflects.
Yeah, his
And-
gills.
Goink, goink, goink.
Yep. And here, this is sort of a
This is great. I love this.
Yeah.
right. That head thing I sort of unconsciously stole from The Graduate, but nobody knows that.
They do now.
There was a jaw shot in there.
Mm-hmm. A crazy shot.
Yeah. Do a lot of stealing, but then it becomes my own, I guess. Peel off one of mine. I think they all have potential.
I had a really difficult time coming up with what to do for music for that little fast thing.
How did you do that anyway?
Oh, there was me. Nobody sees that ever. I'm actually in that shot.
Really?
Very
I've
clever.
never, I've
Yep.
never seen that.
For about half a second.
That's a long time. I always like that.
Yep.
Here comes Foley number 2 of Talkman running into a wall.
How did we get it to stay so nice like that? We put soap on the mirror first and then laid the blood down. The fake blood, that is.
This is actually the room that much of reality takes
Room
place in.
115. Transformed.
Studio 115.
Where am I?
Now, if you'll notice, there
Why am I here?
there's a
doors.
white door and a red door,
Why do you think you're here?
which
I
you'll
don't know,
hear
is this
later
some
in the
kind of
song
joke?
is referred to as one door to heaven and one door
If
to
it is,
hell.
it's not very funny.
And another smoking
want?
room.
Mm-hmm.
The
And
Roman numerals your
remember
idea?
9 hours of shooting
In a
this
way.
day, and the fog machine
What
would
the hell's that supposed to
it would
mean?
keep going poof in the middle of the lines, and we'd have to
Right,
do
which,
them over.
which is
again.
why
I
it
am not
smokes a little
responsible for
bit
the
more
numbers.
in certain parts.
Well, then who is? Psychopath.
Jordan and I had
Calm yourself, Luke.
we
You'll
did this
find
so
out
many
about that in
times.
due
The
time.
continuity is really good with us walking around
Absolutely.
and looking at each other.
Your
and-
friend Gabe
There's the part that
was
was
found dead this morning.
later edited into a blooper reel.
It's all documented right
and there's
here
only
in this
one
file.
shot in here where
Oh, I'm
where
sorry.
that's not
I
swinging.
forgot you were tied to the chair. He was badly bruised
Other
around
than
the
that,
neck.
it's like all almost
It
perfect.
had a red X.
Those are all
his
of my
right
bed
arm.
sheets that I could find hang
What do you make of it?
covering the walls.
People ask, where did you shoot
Can you
this?
tell me anything?
And
Yeah.
I say,
Look,
in the
I don't know
classroom.
anything
It
about
worked pretty
this.
well. I was thinking about
Tell me
shooting it in a
about last
garage.
night.
I was trying to find
Last night.
abandoned places to shoot,
Yeah,
but
last
just didn't
night.
work out. I hate that clock in the background.
happened
Can't
last
stand
night.
it.
The clock is what reveals the room.
Yeah.
Why are you lying to me, Luke? What are you hiding?
I'm not hiding anything.
Scream it.
Not hiding anything!
Say it a third time.
Not hiding anything.
Just
Are you
gotta
sure you're not
emphasize
just
that.
afraid of the truth?
Wait, here comes a
Are
voiceover.
you
Ready?
sure?
Here it is.
Are you sure?
That one. That's not the original audio from that shot.
Don't make me ask you again.
Really?
Luke.
Because
We
Dave
know
told
what
me to
you were
change it.
doing.
I
We
did.
just have to
You didn't
make
like the way you said
admit
it, so I took it from a different shot.
That's all.
Wow. I don't
Bruce
even remember
Lee.
that. If we weren't talking, you'd actually hear the dialogue, and it actually means something.
So symbolically, this is a sort of
Oh, believe me,
purgatory
Luke.
here. Jordan is
You're gonna
faced with
wanna
his
tell me
decision
every little detail
to,
about what happened last night, because if you don't,
know,
you're going to end up
admit
like
to
your
his
friend
sins
Gabe,
or
so start
to
talking. And start by telling
go
me what
on in
happened
his
last
road
night.
toward the dark side.
There was a party.
And were you supposed to be at that party?
That's great, the shadow. The lighting in
Come on,
that
you
is
ready
great.
there? We're gonna be late.
I've always hated that shot.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Well, it's because it's so phallic. Francie, even though she has such a small part, I love her role in this movie.
She
She's
delivers the some good laughs. And here comes the
This is my-
greatest music I've ever heard
This is,
in my life.
this is my Final Fantasy music.
Yeah.
I love that instrument. It's like a
There's
kid toy.
No sarcasm going on there. Here comes the reshoot about 3 times on Mike's close-up.
The lighting is horrendous in this scene. This is also one of the first scenes that we ever shot.
Gonna find out.
That's-
Someone always finds
it's a new
out.
shot.
There's always someone watching.
Yeah.
Just cool it, man.
Yeah, you can tell what happens at the beginning of the movie because of Jordan's face.
You're just afraid I'm right.
I don't see what the big deal is. It's just a party.
There is no big deal, sir. It's just that Mike here hasn't done anything against the rules in his entire life.
Since when did you
I like
become
how
so
Danny's
obsessed with
in the
doing
bottom
one
left
thing,
there.
Luke? I seem to recall a change
think
that
I
I didn't
happened
get
around the
enough.
time you met
I
Rachel.
was all the way up against the wall. I was trying to get in
Wide
as
angle
much as
lens?
I could.
She's controlling your
Yeah.
life. She's
Well,
screwing you
actually, I
up.
don't think I had it at that
Used
point.
to
This is
have
filmed
fun
with a different
without breaking
camera.
the rules.
What's
Right, that other
wrong
one.
with you? If you have a problem with me or Luke, then keep it to yourself.
Remember trying to get
It's not
around
a
when
place
she
to
looked
judge
at the
it.
camera?
Yeah, look, you're way out of line. I
Yeah,
don't
here
know
comes a
what you
fan
think, but
continuity
it's
if it hasn't
better.
already passed.
No, it's coming up.
What is it? This is Bob Dyson's house, right?
This is
Sorry I
Bob
said that.
Dyson's room.
I just don't think this party's such a good idea.
Oh, there it is.
And
Go, okay?
stopped.
It's gonna be fun, all right? You're gonna go and you're gonna have a good time.
That's what I'm afraid of.
That's my forehead.
And here comes the music foreshadowing.
Yes. Little music cue foreshadowing.
That's Barkley's car actually that Mike's driving.
With the bum print on the hood. You can see it more when they leave.
Yeah.
This was shot at like
3 in the morning
Yeah.
at least.
This day
shot
was
at the very
crazy.
end of the party.
This was the same day that the Star Wars Episode 1 trailer came out, and Pablo and I ran off to see
Right.
it.
and Whammy came to interview us on
Right.
this day.
Oh, boy.
Fun.
Quite a day.
Little fun never hurt nobody.
So here comes the party scene. And the famous party scene. And here is my band playing. You were about to see.
Who deleted this scene?
That was right.
That was me.
Yep.
But I put it all back
We put it back together just for me.
with the shot in
So
there.
this
With an extra
shot
shot.
here was shot without anybody else there. Shot at the end of the scene actually. And that's me playing my lead guitar.
Flipping people off as you
Yeah.
play.
That comes a little later.
Good, huh?
They're pretty good, huh?
There were actually a lot less people at this party than it seems like in the
Well,
movie.
It cuts together really well.
What's he doing? I think he's trying to impress you.
What did we have, like 3 or 4 cameras going?
I think we had about 4 cameras going,
From Luke.
taking at different
He's gonna sing a
angles.
song called "The Devil's Blues."
That's the actual sound, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Worked out well. And this
That is not the actual sound.
This song was recorded at Castingway Studios,
No, it was recorded in Gulliver.
and
It was mastered there, though.
Right.
yes, with
There's the shot.
There's my
band.
shot.
Yep.
That was what I
That-
gave you for deleting everything.
Yeah.
And the song has symbolic content. It's
And
sort
literal.
Of, sort of a microcosm of the movie in song form. So he opens up the door there.
And
got that.
there's the devil.
And he's singing.
So, yep. Not that he's really the devil, but he
And-
acts bad.
Right.
And everybody was confused about how to dance to this song. It was really difficult.
Yeah.
I told them, okay, you got to dance to this song, and then I played, a few bars of it, and they were like, we can't do that. I think they thought it was going to be some sort of trance music or something. I don't know what they were expecting.
There was originally a line from Francie there, like she had to go to the bathroom and answer the phone or something, but there's just no room for it.
Right.
At least everything sunk up pretty well.
For a while. Beginning of the party was played pretty on tempo. Toward the end, they were playing it at like twice the tempo.
Really?
It got really out of control. Mike
It's-
standing alone there. That's good.
So we're actually playing this live, the music, but we're overdubbing the pre-recorded audio.
And
He doesn't know how to dance to it either.
Well, the point of that shot was to show that Mike did not see, or rather, Jordan did not see Barkley and Danny in the
Where's Dave?
audience.
Oh, you went off with Rachel.
Great. He left me alone.
Not all alone. Want to dance?
Sure.
Everybody always laughs at that line.
That's great.
Francie's.
It is great. If you look in the upper left at the beginning of that last shot, Jordan's actually singing, but
Oh, there's a
Can't really
camera.
tell. yeah, there's
camera shadow.
plenty
That's
of
probably-
cameras. Pablo's all over the
There-
place.
there's our
There's a
lighting.
light.
There's our lighting in the
tripod
background.
back there. It's got the music.
Yeah. This is
Oh, this
your
is mine.
copy. I've always thought the music was too much for this because we've been listening to a lot of music. But
Well, when is there no music in the movie?
well, that's what I'm saying.
There's
There's that one
one or
point at the
two
beginning
points.
of the first interrogation scene for about a minute. There's no
Right.
music.
Right. Well, you know, could have always taken it out.
That's
I
not the
guess.
point.
It's good.
It works. Carries the movie.
I'm not supposed to.
Well, I wouldn't say that. At least it
Well,
doesn't take
it-
away.
it's-
For me,
It flows
having
well.
having made it, there's
I'm
some
not
of it that
supposed to want this.
could be left behind probably,
It's
but
just for the seven.
I leave that to you guys to decide, really.
There's the
I'm all alone.
Temptress in red.
Yep. Your colors are very good all throughout. How they symbolize people and what they're doing and when they're doing it. And
That's Francie.
Yep.
If I really wanted to be crazy about it, I should have made all the people at the party wear black.
Then it would have been a rave.
And they wouldn't have shown up. It was already a hard enough time to get them there. Remember, everyone was on their cell
We had to
phones.
call
for-
people at the last minute to come
even
up.
though you had handed out about 3 million
Yeah.
flyers beforehand.
This is at Francie Grunn's house, by the way. Very kind of her to let me do this.
Damn.
Here comes the middle finger. There it is. All right.
That's an edit in the song there, actually. There was a whole solo section.
Yeah, there's a little solo section which I didn't like.
There was Joe Roberts for about the millionth time.
So what'd you think?
It was great.
I think this scene was almost cut, wasn't it?
Hey, Mike, I'm glad you finally
There are a couple
decided
scenes
to
that I
commit.
wanted to
Dancing
cut.
with Sarah, no less. It's a big step.
Shut up.
Let's go get some drinks.
Here comes another one of the slow-mo scenes.
Some very
like these
peculiar
two.
music.
For the pace of the movie, it slows it down a little
I
bit.
had a lot of fun with the music, and because it was the first time I'd ever really done a score that actually goes with the film, and it was quite an undertaking.
Everybody is drunk,
Everybody's happy.
and
Hey, man.
This is great right here. The
Messed
cue
up.
with the
Now I need
keys. I like that.
I've always liked that also.
I've never told anybody that. It's a secret. There's the bum again. Bum on the car.
Yep.
Here's the one note I don't like in the whole thing right here. I don't like that note.
That's alright.
oh, it's alright, yeah. So here we go.
Turn your lights on. Okay.
What else happened?
Now we're
that
back
night?
in the present here, in the
Nothing.
interrogation.
After that, we went home.
It's 5:15 p.m.
Luke, do you see that door?
No.
Oh, that one.
A repentant sinner can be forgiven. Do you want to get out of here?
I had a lot of lines.
So I must insist that you tell the truth. Now, what happened that
This is
night?
a very
Oh, this
difficult day.
one's out of sync.
There's nothing else.
Oh, that's so bad.
It's alright. We're listening to us, not them.
It's not my place to tell you why.
This is
or for
actually
what
filmed
reason,
during winter break, I
But
think.
you must admit
Yes.
your sins.
We worked
There are forces
major
at work here
overtime
that
on
must
this
be dealt
movie.
with, and this is your last chance. If you don't talk now, you are a dead man. Do you hear me?
What?
A dead man.
Why are you doing this to me?
I am not doing this to you.
Oh, the light plays really well in this.
Yeah.
But I know
scene.
who is. And I know that if you don't confess, nothing can save you.
Always showing
I don't need
the
to be saved.
possible route
Not by
out
you,
in the
not by
background.
anybody.
And even though the smoke,
You're wrong.
is a little erratic
And sooner or later it's going to
smoky
catch
at
up to you.
times, I
It's
like it
unavoidable.
because
Tis
it
your
shows
destiny.
So talk to
it's
Finish the
sort of a
story.
surreal thing.
Yeah,
You know that it's not. This isn't
We got a little
the
lost.
Revelations world. Is not reality. It happens somewhere else.
well,
in an allegorical world where this stuff happens.
and practically it's just hardly noticeable anyway. I think. I don't think people notice it.
So lost. I have no idea where we are.
but it does add to the whole surreality.
Right from the beginning, you can tell that it's not a real thing.
And I think that's sort of what I wanted to do with the music too. You know, different sort of feel.
Like right from the beginning, I mean, the teacher who talks in Bible passages and the students talk like that too.
And they're not in the back. The two girls aren't in the car.
Right.
Yeah.
Here, this scene, everybody asks how this was done. There's Pablo actually in the back of the car right there, down low.
Recording the sound.
Recording the sound.
Doing who knows what with the microphone. Because it has all sorts of
Sounds like caca.
sounds.
Right, and I was shooting out of the back of my Explorer.
Getting the master shot.
Yes.
While another cam was getting the sound, and then sync them up later. I like the dog bark in there. Gives it. It was probably real wild sound. But
It was.
You ran a stop sign there.
This wasn't my idea. It's your stinking idea to take this.
This is a good
road.
line coming up.
Forget whose idea this was, okay? We're all on the same road now.
It's a good line.
They are all on the same road
This
because
is-
they have committed their sins.
All right, let's get the car.
Is this
Not
the-
yet, actually.
Is this the infamous car lighting? Infamous Talkman car lighting right here?
Yes, this is the car lighting, which, you know, they're a series of hurricane lanterns on the floor of the car. And this is them pushing the car. Barkley was pressing the gas. I guess she didn't get that we were trying to push the car, but we had to slow-mo that to like negative 900 in order to get it to look like it was sort of going slow.
Right.
Just going
Nobody's
back.
in the car, but right there.
Right.
So,
Going back to that scene, I think Mike gave a really good performance in there, trying to convince himself that what they were doing was going to be okay. I like that scene.
so here comes the
tractor guy from hell. I don't know what this sound is, where it came from. It might have been, I don't know, some evil lawnmower man.
That's another movie.
Here we go. It's coming in. I cut it out as much as I could. There it is.
Yeah.
Did you mean what you said at the party?
But the audio is still audible, so.
What'd I say at the party?
Francie's reaction is priceless in this.
Rachel, I can't.
It's amazing how well this works for being such a long, still shot.
Yep. I think that says a lot about people who are in it.
That for 1 second.
The evil temptress again.
And Danny, who is still wearing white, commits his sin.
So why is Francie wearing black?
Because she's evil too. All girls are. Didn't you know that?
That's right.
Didn't your mom tell you that?
And the car is black.
And the night is black.
Barf, she needs some air. And the window is open. But it was necessary to see them.
The cross.
Suddenly he remembers his good friend, Luke.
Without an E at the end. Right, you see. There's his Band-Aid.
Probably the first kiss in a Gulliver movie. No, it's not.
There was one part of that kiss that was real, the rest of it was fake. All the stuff where Barkley has a tight turn.
So, what do you think about Rachel?
Barkley had a small uproar about that, didn't she? The kiss.
Yeah, she said that she was going to go home and shower 100
smart,
times, but
gorgeous.
that's
fun.
just Barkley.
We have so much in common. Yeah.
I love that
great
line.
line.
Some people get it, some don't.
It's the greatest feeling in the world.
Here comes the unfortunate wind.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, do you think you love her?
Yeah, too bad.
Yeah, I think I love her.
I love you.
That's something that I use.
That's great. Yes,
In
you
normal
do.
lights.
In normal lights, you'll see that again.
You do that a lot, and it's great. It's a great little
Technique.
I'll tell him later when I get a chance with him.
What? That was the line
That was an important line,
yeah,
too.
that nobody can really
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
So why don't you repeat it for us so that we can know what he says?
Why don't I get a chance with him? I'll tell him when I get a chance with him alone. And you'll see the chance with him alone later.
I always like this part of the movie because it sort of puts
It's about time.
the movie a little bit in reality. It puts it, you know, wow, there's a real gas station there.
At the same
A
time-
lot of our movies that we make are
In a vacuum.
Yeah, exactly. But right, like you were saying earlier, it's not exactly in reality. Sure. But it makes more realistic.
And here's a doorknob.
After that, we got the gas, went home, and that was the end of it.
Is this Jordan's house?
This is Jordan's
Luke,
house,
I've
and that
given
is
you a
my
chance
old
to tell the
Explorer
truth.
in the driveway, which is now gone.
Why do you refuse me? There's nothing more I can do for you, so now I'm going to have to see what
I
your
hated
friend
the
has to say.
the interrogation scene video for that, for those lines. So, which is why I used
Voice
the
over.
other scene that I
Get me out of
had
here!
randomly made.
Relax, Michael.
The shot coming up is great.
I was just
This
talking
is
to
a
your friend
huge
Luke
tracking
here
shot
about what happened last night.
done on a tripod with the wheel spreader.
I don't know anything. I didn't do
We
anything
did this
wrong.
about 100
Why do
times,
I get
but
the sense that you're
this is the
lying
first
to me,
take.
Michael?
I'm not lying.
Oh, you're a sinner.
I love hearing that.
You know what happens to sinners here, don't you?
Out of here.
Well, I'll tell you. They sit tied to their chairs.
That was where
withering
all
away,
that smoke was
wallowing in their
in the middle of the
sin
line. The thing went psst,
Yeah.
and
A
we
bullet.
had to cut it out.
Puts an end to their miserable lives.
I love the lens flares
Because if
here.
I don't get some answers from the two of you pretty soon, I'm going to have to invent new ways of making you talk.
I think that's a line from
Do you know where you
something
got
Star
those
Wars.
numbers?
I think
Something like
I
that.
took it
Do
from
you?
somewhere on purpose.
Do you?
I always will sort of regret not putting on a voice for this. I know that you wanted it, and I had sort of
Think harder.
tried to make one, but
What are you talking about?
it was too much work in the end. It was unfortunate, but
I'm going to give you two a chance to cool off. And when I come back, I'm going to want some answers.
That cut right there.
Exactly where you
Every time
got
I
this.
remember. I was originally going to move that cut earlier.
Where you
it would have crossed the line
Yeah.
that much.
And that clock is still there. And it
if I
pisses
don't
me
get
off.
those answers when I come
Well, the
back,
special edition
And
can
now it's quarter
digitally
of
erase
9.
it.
save you
Actually,
what's
there's a
out there.
we're using a camera light in this scene, if you remember, for lighting, for the lighting purposes on you.
What are you doing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the video camera
One of
lights.
the video camera
Yeah.
lights, because we ran out of lights.
This part here was quite a difficult edit.
Took all the sound out totally.
Yeah. If you notice, Mike says
Mike-
something right there. Right.
Yeah. And Mike also is still wearing his bat belt.
But
And they
but-
go out the bad door.
Why is he doing this?
But I like
This
the,
doesn't make sense.
Makes perfect sense.
everybody likes that shot because it's really
No,
clear
there's more to
that they
it.
approach the
Sounds like
white
there's
door
something
and
else.
stop, and the lines aren't necessary. It even
It's
detracts
definitely the
from
weirdest thing that's happened to me all
you know,
day.
the motion of it.
I don't know. After a while, I just started to believe Mr. Big.
Well, that's good that it
wasn't
can work
him.
on its own like that.
Did you hear that? That was the only mention of
Right.
Dave's
Mr.
character's
Big.
name.
Which I hate the name, by the way.
There's
Mr.
But
Big.
something strange about it. I mean, he said he wasn't responsible.
and I
for
just
the
hope that
numbers.
nobody
It
hears
wasn't
that
him.
every time
Who
I
was it?
watch it with somebody.
Well, now they'll all know.
What is this? What does it mean?
All of that audio was taken from this flying back and forth shot, wasn't it?
Close up, yeah.
Come on, man. Let's get out of here.
Come on, man. Okay, man. There are lots of men in this. Spoken and otherwise.
Here comes.
All the mans were ad lib. They were not in the script.
That's bad directing.
Yeah, I do remember trying to cut around the mans at one point. It was difficult.
And that the car drives right through the. We're in the middle of
God
knows where.
Yeah. Here comes your car.
This is the car that gods drive, or
With-
holy people drive.
without the Christmas wreath on the front.
Right.
Now here I am trying to catch a state championship cross-country runner in Jordan Harrison.
I think this is the only real chase scene anyone's ever made in Gulliver. I don't think I've ever seen another real
Reality chase scenes.
But that's different. This is like, you know, all running. That's all this is.
In combat boots.
I wanted to have a chase scene because I always wanted to make one. I originally had a car chase scripted,
Here comes the cross.
but that did not work.
Stop! You don't know what you're doing!
Yes, I love that. I always like that.
This is funny because
I love this shot.
it makes him human, sort of. Him having to run and sweating and.
I love where you come in, right here. Or this shot, rather.
Yeah, this is great.
This is a good shot.
Everybody hides.
And I like your eyes in this.
Yeah, it's like I
where
actually
you see somebody.
something.
Yeah. That was good. I've always thought they're on Endor right now.
The Ewoks are gonna come out.
Where are the Ewoks? Come on.
Watch out, Jordan.
Let's
Oh,
go. Let's
oh.
go find Han Solo, Luke.
Let's go take his car.
And here's another shot out of the back of my Explorer. And here's a gloomy shot. It was a gloomy day that day. It worked out.
Looks like you turned down the light, the
Exposure.
aperture a little bit.
I might have. This shot is actually influenced by Fargo.
How's that?
The room separation, there's this shot in Fargo that's in the kitchen.
It's got 2 rooms. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and the door on one side and the kitchen
Yeah.
on the other side.
Yeah, I wanted to make that happen, but it just wasn't working out. I was going to have Mike go back to the window, but I cut all that out.
So everybody has 2 guns sitting in their kitchen drawer, right?
Right. That's something
It's
I
Miami.
And-
I would have liked to cut that out. That shot was not necessary.
And he definitely had to wash his hands. Because
Well, he washes his hands continually throughout the movie.
Right.
Everybody's always washing their
It's a
hands.
little obsessive compulsive,
It's like a purifying thing.
or that. Here comes the big audio edit craziness.
And so now he is going to have his revelation, so to speak. What this all means.
Who's there?
Yes, anybody who does not pay attention to the next few minutes of the movie
Is doomed.
Yes.
And it's good. It says something about how it all came out, because really, if you go back and analyze the script and what happens in the end, there are really, I think, only 2 loose ends. I think.
Which we will discuss afterwards. But there's a lot that's going to happen right now.
I remember recording that phone sound
Yep. In the room.
in Abercrombie's room.
Abercrombie's room.
So what is it?
I love Rachel.
So this is Danny telling
And she loves
or
me.
rather, yeah. There we go.
This is a 3-tiered flashback. 3 different timelines.
That's yummy.
That's a great shot from underneath the table.
Here comes all the editing sound. Right when he moves his finger over one of the letters in the right. Ready? Here it comes now.
Yesterday to bring
That was my cue.
the book. Bring the book for tomorrow.
Since when did you become so obsessed with doing the wrong thing, Luke? You never used to act like this until you met Rachel.
What's Luke gonna say?
He's gotta find out sometime.
Any man worth
And there's the 6.
She was mine! My friend Gabe was found dead this morning.
That's not the point.
Do you love me?
Yes.
He was badly bruised around the neck and had a red
So that's his
on his
sin.
right arm.
Do you really?
There was the roof shot where you almost fell off.
Right. I shot a couple shots from the roof.
Speaking of
Didn't
shots,
use all
Do
of
you
them.
know where Gabe is today?
Yes.
By any
Here come the
chance?
shots.
Now see, this is one of the holes, I think,
Against the
which is
Lord.
when he
And
drops
you can be sure
the cross, because then the question is, how does it get to the
you out.
the beach?
Oh no, that's not a hole at all.
No.
Mike picks up the cross. Then Mike has the cross.
In my goddamn bathroom.
I don't know
Mike brings the cross to the beach because he's there, as you'll see. And then you get the cross. And then it winds up in the Bible.
Idea?
I am not responsible for the numbers.
What are you talking about? This is not something.
if you remember, we took those gunshots from Saving Private Ryan.
Yes, we
Yes.
did.
Shouldn't have gone to that party.
Mike here hasn't done anything against
I think they work very well.
entire life.
Where's Gabe?
See there, he's picking up the cross.
A repentant sinner can be forgiven.
I don't know anything. I didn't do anything wrong.
Why do I get the
Of course, he did know something because, as we're seeing in the flashback, he witnessed the murder,
All I know is for the last 2 weeks,
and he's
all I've
been
hearing is
lying about
every
it the
detail
entire
about
time.
Don't tell me those 2 are coming.
Any man worship the beast or his image and receive his mark. Stop! You don't
That's
know
taken
what you're
from
doing!
scene that got cut out, the whole dragging scene, which you originally were going to open the movie with.
Yeah, which was a stupid idea.
There's some more Photoshop gun action.
Right. It was originally an entire dragging sequence that was about 2 minutes long. It was really good footage. I liked it, but
This is one of the things that
Didn't work
always.
out.
Oh, there's. I'm fanning that book over there on the side.
Yes.
But that dragging thing to the beach was the one thing that always really confused me. The connection between the beach at the beginning and him dragging the body to the beach.
And the reason I say it's a hole is because you just don't see. All you do is you see him pick it up, and it's a
Right.
tiny bit of a
Right.
leap to see how it gets there.
right.
So it's not
Plain
that.
simple.
Oh, that's who knocked him out. Oh.
Perhaps I was overly ambitious. But witness world that I have tried.
I spent several days coming up with that line.
Good line.
Here comes Revelations.
Revelations.
And that's it. 2 years.
There's the accent over Perron, which I insist on putting.
You can go ahead and insist.
So these credits are much clearer than the reality ones.
And bigger.
There's my makeup person.
Continuity. Luke, L-U-C, to distinguish it from Star Wars
And from the Bible.
and from the Bible.
Party crowd. Thank God for them.
Yeah, jeez.
Absolutely.
I don't know half those people. It's really funny because one time somebody came up to me and, or I think it was a friend of somebody that was there. I was just like, you're the guy. I don't know you.
That must be pretty weird.
Yeah, I mean they were from all different. I mean everybody that was there called up all their friends to bring them because we didn't have many people at the beginning.
So this
There's
is
yeah,
0001.
01.
Motion Picture Association of Gulliver. If you can read that small.
Yes.
And actually, it is copyright.
That's a
Know
good
what it is
thing.
now?
Hmm?
Officially.
Officially.
That's it.
Dong.
That's Revelations.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, put the new one in. Error.